Welcome to this moment to awe and wonder of this immense world that we live in, and to let the immensity of it open us up to awe of how little we sense, how little we know, not in comparison of good or bad, just of respect for mosquitoes, for example. We're, as far as senses go and how we perceive the world, of course, we're, mostly eyes, and then only during the day. And then, nothing compared to, it's our vision. I mean, look at our language, so much of it, even people that are born blind use words like, I see your point. And so much of our language is around our eyes. And, when I open myself to all beings in the world, mosquitoes come to mind, and they they don't perceive the world with their eyes. They have a sense of smell and 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 uh, and the heat, sort of, I guess that would be touch. There's um, a sensation of something that smells good to eat and something that is hot. They see heat, and they're instead of sensing things differently like we do, they kind of sense everything all at once. And I'm using that as an example because just so much has been done to study mosquitoes because they carry other diseases. And can we just open up to not only mosquitoes, but all of these things crawling and flying around us have totally different ways of perceiving the world and being in the world. And it kind of, in some ways, I feel insignificant, and at the same time, I feel really open to the power of awareness, of how that is one superpower we have that I think other creatures don't have. I don't even know how to express it in a way. It's to consider. This is what I want to focus on, to consider that we have the power to respect other creatures' differences. And we actually have the power to respect other humans' differences as well. I really want to welcome everybody who's just joining us right now. You're right in time. And to say, yes, we live in an immense world. There's so many beings, so many bugs and mammals and humans, and we're all, even within our own species, thanks to our minds, perceiving the world differently. And I think that's awesome. And I also think it's a superpower to be able to look at bugs and wonder and say, it's like, what is your what is your world like right now? To, like, when birds are flying by, we can use it, of course, for like a metaphor, like a reflection of what's going on in us when we see other creatures. That's more likely than what we're going to come up with if we don't know the science. And that's okay too. And not to mention, and I will mention, the trees. What are the trees' experience in the world? And I want to stay with that, since I've mentioned bugs and mammals and reptiles, I haven't mentioned reptiles and amphibians. I will right now. They're definitely super, super interesting and fun and like imagining how incredibly different their perception of the world is. Most, very few beings in the world, very few insects even see, like the way we do. They may see heat, like mosquitoes. They may see vibrations from the clicks that they make. They may see that way, echolocation, and the trees, and the plants. We're particularly at the trees right now. Let yourself imagine trees and how they perceive the world. When I read Buddhist sutras that say respect your elders, I always imagine trees as my elders. Not necessarily. I mean, people older than me, I think they're actually meaning, like, it's a very Confucian, like, to respect your parents. And the trees are my parents. The trees are my elders. The trees are like awesome, to use a very American word. And to let myself gaze out into the trees right now. I'm looking at some phenomenal trees. Lots of them. I took extra time this morning to be with my elders. Because I wanted you to feel the vibration of like, the awe of that. The awe of slowing down and being in the present moment. Savoring the time perception of the world that's very different from a mosquito's or a fly or a human. And just let this open up your world. Let it make your world bigger. And include it, you can include it any way you want. And people matter to me, and the world we live in is so dependent on these other beings and how we show up with the awareness of how our lights at nighttime affect other beings in the world that, we're so focused on being able to see at night, right? Because we can't. And the devastating effect that has on so many species. And I'm not saying that, we've got to, if you're motivated to actually work on changing that, that's fine. I'm just using that as an example of how awareness can open us up, and it can overwhelm us as well. I invite you to walk that edge between overwhelm and awe. It's a thin edge. The sense that all beings in the world matter and include myself. That's when it doesn't become overwhelming, when I realize I'm a being as well. I have a mosquito nature sometimes. I'm looking for heat. I'm looking for smells, I'm looking for food. It's so, to me, I like mind-boggling because it's so much more alive for me. So however you find awe today, at least have one day for curiosity, awe, and wonder. And have it be this day. It's as far as our meditation goes, or any other day, or all days. Why limit it? To be with and feel the vibrations of all of the life energy around us, all at their own time, their own frequency. Let it open up your heart. Check yourself if you feel overwhelmed and come back to, and how can I take care of this body today? How can this spirit be more connected to my aliveness? Thank you so much. One breath at a time. May all beings benefit.